Hey everybody, it's Ben, and I'm back once again with another video for you guys. Just before this video begins, just want to show you guys my new Galactus t-shirt, which I got from my local HMV last week. For those of you on the Facebook, YouTube Comic Community Facebook page, you'll know that I shared a link to that particular t-shirt and mentioned that I got one last week. Anyway, today I'm going to be reviewing All New X-Men, Volume 3, Out of Their Depth. The series is written by Brian Michael Bendis and illustrated by Stuart Immonen. On this particular volume we have a guest artist on issue 15, which is David Lafuente, who is a name you may recognize if you've read Brian Michael Bendis' run on the pre-Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man series, as he worked with Brian Michael Bendis on the I believe the first arc that he worked on was called The World According to Peter Parker, I believe. Anyway, so this third volume collects issues 11 through 15 of the All New X-Men series, which is published by Marvel Comics as part of the Marvel Now initiative. So the story starts out right after the events of issue 10, which is collected in volume 2, Here to Stay, where you have the reveal that one of the original X-Men will join up with present-day Cyclops' Uncanny X-Men team, and that is young Warren Worthington III, or Young Angel, as he believes that Cyclops, or present-day Cyclops, is nonsense that he's selling to the X-Men at this particular time is more believable than the Wolverine and the X-Men nonsense that they're selling. Young Angel just comes across in this particular scene just as a really complete and utter douchebag, and I really don't like or young Warren, I should say. Present day Angel I like, for some strange reason, possibly because he's lost all of his memories and he's under the impression that he's a real angel. He's now got the metal wings which Apocalypse gave him. He can also apparently heal people, which is interesting. Anyway, so as Young Angel is about to leave, the All New X-Men and the Uncanny X-Men, led by present-day Cyclops, get into a brief altercation. And there's a great scene where Magneto manages to take down Wolverine by utilizing the adamantium metal, which comprises Wolverine's skeleton. There's also a really great scene where young Jean Grey tries to telepathically force young Warren to stay with the group, and she then has a psychic battle with present-day Emma Frost and the Cuckoo's sisters, which she tells Wolverine she needs to learn a lesson. She needs to stop poking around in people's minds. You can kind of see it from Jean's perspective, and that she doesn't want the team to break up. She doesn't want the future that she's seen in present Beast's mind to come to pass, which will ultimately be changed drastically by Angel departing the group. But at the same time, you can also see it from Emma's point of view, in the respect that young Jean Grey has been doing some very questionable things with her powers during Bendis' run on this series, and she's also become very comfortable with using her powers to get her own way, and you start to wonder if the darkness which the Phoenix brought out of Jean during the Dark Phoenix Saga storyline by Chris Claremont, you start to wonder just how much of that darkness was actually within Jean herself, even before the Dark Phoenix Saga actually even happened. And there's also a great scene where Kitty Pryde basically tells Jean, "You're Jean Grey, you're an X-woman or an X-Man, you really need to get it together, otherwise I will find a way to send the original X-Men back to their present time." And there's also a really great meeting which takes place between present-day Alex Summers, or Havoc, and young Scott Summers, or young Cyclops, as you can see there. And there's a really great conversation which takes place between the two, and there's also some really great, generally touching moments between the two, and you really see the the brotherly bond and the relationship between these two, even though present-day Cyclops is just... he's basically he's basically another version of Magneto in the sense that he's a mutant revolutionary. There's also another great scene where Jean unintentionally reads the Scarlet Witch or Wanda Maximoff's mind, and she learns that she is responsible for the death, or not the death, but she's responsible for the events of M-Day, which basically wiped out 98% of the mutant population. And as you can probably imagine, Jean is absolutely distraught and is brought to tears by what she finds out from unintentionally reading Wanda's mind. And there's a great scene and a brief altercation which takes place between both her and Wanda, and there's some great dialogue exchanges between all of the characters that are present, as you can see there and there. You also pick up with Raven Darkholme or Mystique, and Regan Wingard and Victor Creed, or Mystique, Lady Mastermind and Sabretooth, and that they're still going about and stealing very, very large sums of money, which you actually find out in this particular volume what Mystique actually wants with all the money, as you can see there. And there's a really great one-page spread of Fin Fang Foom showing up for a minute as one of Lady Mastermind's illusions. I should mention that Stuart Immonen's artwork continues to be absolutely fantastic, and also the inking and the colouring done by Wade Von Grobadger, Marty Garcia, Reina Beredo. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's B-E-R-E-D-O. I would just pronounce that. And Jim Campbell is also fantastic. And there's also another really great scene which takes place between Havoc and young Cyclops, in that they both have a hug just before the X-Men depart, as you can see there. And at the same time you find out that the reason why Mystique wants all this money is because she wants to buy the criminally run country known as Madripoor. Once again, I mentioned just now Stuart Immonen's fantastic artwork, and this double page spread is a perfect example of exactly why, as you can see there and there. So Mystique wants to essentially broker a deal between the Silver Samurai, Madame Hydra, and the Hydra terrorist organization, but unfortunately before the deal can be completed, the X-Men basically crash the deal, as you can see there and there. There's some really great, really fun action scenes and some great fight scenes which take place between our X-Men and Mystique, Sabretooth and the Hydra organization. There's also a really cool guest appearance by, albeit an illusion, of Jason Wingard, the original Mastermind. And you find out, or at least I found out through a little bit of research, that Regan Wingard is actually Jason's daughter, and she bears a grudge against Jean Grey because she drove her father insane during the events of the Dark Phoenix saga. So Lady Mastermind is definitely looking to pay Jean back for what she did to her father. I'll just show you an example of some of the fight scenes, as you can see there and there. There's also some really fun and generally funny, laugh out loud dialogue exchanges between Wolverine, Jean and the rest of the characters, particularly with what Jean uses her abilities for on Sabretooth or Victor Creed, as you can see there and there. There's also a really fun scene where both Jean and Scott Summers or Cyclops work together to take down the Silver Samurai as well, as you can see there. Also, as I mentioned, David Lafuente takes over the artwork for one issue. Now, his art style might not be for everybody. Personally, I really like it. It's a bit more cartoony than usual, which I really like. But I can certainly see how his particular art style might not be for everybody. But there's some really great fun scenes, particularly with young Iceman or young Bobby Drake's reaction to the fact that present day Iceman is actually making out with Kitty Pryde, which young Bobby is just completely distraught by, and it, quote unquote, it's freaking him out on multiple levels, which is really, really fun. And there's also another really fun scene where Jean is practicing her telekinetic abilities with present-day Beast or Hank McCoy, and unfortunately, due to a momentary distraction, she essentially breaks Wolverine's motorcycle into a million pieces, and Wolverine is understandably quite angry. So he threatens Beast into fixing it, and basically he and Jean say we'll fix it. There's also another great reveal of the fact that Hank actually had feelings for Jean, as she finds this out as she reads present day Beast's mind, and then she confronts young Hank about his feelings for her. So there's a pretty interesting relationship that starts to develop between young Hank and Jean Grey, as you can see there and there. There's actually some generally really very human dialogue exchanges between the two characters, and then they eventually share a kiss, as you can see there. Brian Michael Bendis is still doing an absolutely fantastic job on the writing and the storytelling for this series. The artwork by Stuart Immonen continues to be equally on par with Brian Michael Bendis' writing, in my opinion, along with the colouring of Marty Garcia, Reina Barredo, and Jim Campbell, and also the inking done by Wade Von Grobadger. Like I said, David Lafuente's artwork I personally like, but I can certainly see how it's not for everyone. If I had to give this third volume of All New X-Men a rating, I'd give it an absolute 5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it. If you're a fan of Bendis, if you're a fan of Marvel, if you're a fan of the X-Men, I definitely recommend you check out All New X-Men. And that about concludes this review video, guys. Thank you everybody for watching. As always, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Didn't like it, thumbs it down. As I always say, if you haven't done the video, by all means please feel free to tell me why in the comments below, or send me a private message. If this is your first time viewing one of my videos and you'd like to see more, by all means please feel free to subscribe. And until next time, this is Gambit896 signing off, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.